Brick by brick. Sense of urgency. Alert, alert, alert. That's why I'm wearing red. This episode is going to impact you guys. So we got to move, constantly move that sense of urgency. Welcome back to Brick by Brick today. Gianni and I are diving into the power of sense of urgency. In the fast-paced world, it's crucial to act now and now, not wait for the perfect moment. We're here to share insights on why urgency can propel you to greater success. Let's get started. A sense of urgency means a feeling or understanding that a particular situation or task requires immediate attention and needs to be dealt with quickly. Essentially, perceiving something as important and time-sensitive, prompting swift action. Embracing a sense of urgency means recognizing that time is our most valuable resource. When we prioritize immediate action, we prevent opportunities from slipping away and stay ahead. This mindset helps us remain proactive, adapt quickly to changes, and continuously move forward. By cultivating a sense of urgency, we create momentum and drive success. So, as I read right there, our time is valuable. So that's why we got to move with a sense of urgency, and not necessarily just rushing through life, but we also got to be intentional with what we do. So right here, I have a very special guest, Gianni, my coach. He has been mentoring me, and he's the reason why I'm also here today, along with God. Thanks to God as well. So I thank you, appreciate you for coming here today.
No, thank you for having me, bro.
Of course. My first question to you is, what role has a sense of urgency played in your personal growth and success in business?
Sense of urgency has played a major role in just my life overall. That's why my podcast is called Day One. Perfect question. Like me, procrastination is an illness. Coming from a person that I used to abuse drugs, I used to postpone things and say, one day I'm going to do this, one day I'm going to do that. And turns to find out I never got to it. That's why my podcast is Day One. Turn that one day into day one, because moving with a sense of urgency can change your life. That's why you have to say, today's day one of me doing it and treating every day like day one. Because when you postpone things, you never get to it. You're like, one day I'm going to do this. That's why I eat that frog. You got to do it now. Do it now with change. Do it now is a saying that has changed my life. Do it now, do it now, do it now. Progressively tell you that sense of urgency. It will change your life, because you're going to get things done faster. You're going to be glad. It's the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. So before I lived with the pain of regret, now I'm paying the price of discipline. And there's no price. It hurts in the moment, but that's the best thing that's for us.
Yeah, just just do it. That's why I like Nike so much. Like,
facts.
Just do it. Like, it's the words, it's simple words, but it has such powerful meaning. And I feel like when people just hear like them simple words, they don't really pay attention to those words. But just do it. Like, a lot of people, they just like lazy and they don't want to take action. And a lot of people procrastinate, and procrastination is really dangerous in this world. Like, procrastination gets you in like your comfort zone, constantly comfortable. You never want to be in your comfort zone. You always want to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Correct. My next question to you is, how do you balance urgency with patience and long-term vision?
For me, from my perspective, urgency, how I balance urgency with patience and long-term vision is, for example, I want everything to happen right now, but I got to understand that it's not going to happen right now. Like Kobe Bryant, he had a saying once that went along the lines of, you got to want it today, but know that it's not going to happen today, but you got to work as if it's going to happen today. That if you put in the work every day, you give the most that you had, the most that you can, and you give the most that you possibly can, then when you look back, you're going to be so far ahead if you just focus on that narrow road. You just focus on going forward. Meaning,
so you focus on the future while still in the present.
Correct. You got to have that long-term vision, knowing why you're doing what you're doing, but also realize that it's not going to happen overnight. But you never know when that one day is going to happen. But if you treat every day like day one, tomorrow could be that one day that you envision. But you got to fall in love with the journey. That's why it's a marathon, not a sprint. Most people just focus on that end goal and just want that quick result, but don't even want to put in the work.
I always like, what comes to mind when you say that is a meme of somebody like digging for gold, and then they're right there, but then they stop digging because the process they went through, it just tired them out. When you're working towards a goal, what helps you like not get tired out during like working towards that goal?
Just faith, believing, and just putting in the work, knowing that what you sow is what you reap. If you know what you're sowing, just continue to sow and forget about the rewards. That's just me. Like, I focus It's crazy, bro. Like I already like I believe that it's already there. I just got to go get it. The have, I say the dream car, the dream home. I already know it's destined for me. I just got to keep sowing, keep putting in the work, and it's gonna come unconscious. Like we don't know when it's gonna happen, but if you just focus on the reward instead of focus on the doing, you're gonna lose yourself. That's just my perspective. Like I focus on the doing. What could I do to move the vision forward? What's in my control that I could control to make something happen? Most people want something for nothing. They want to get that reward and not put in the work. I want to put in the work, forget about the rewards. I believe it's gonna come to me.
How do you ever get burned out at all, or no? Whenever you're working towards, even like I could say you're a consistent man in the gym, or even recording. You're consistent. You record CMR, record your
Every
podcast.
day on CMR Podcast Network. Every day.
Yeah. So, do you say do you get burned out, or how would you prevent like, being burned out?
For example, today, the little situation that happened, but I said positive, positive. Obviously, there's moments that come, but you don't want to feed into that negative energy. Like day one time, he was like, they won like 5-6 games. They beat us. And I was like, good game. He was like, yo, I'm tired, bro. I was like, nah, tired's only the mind. Look at LeBron. LeBron said, I don't get tired. I don't get tired. He was like, yo, I fucking love your energy, bro. But it's just, everything's a mindset. So if you say you get burned out, you're going to be burned out. If you say I got more in the tank, you're going to have more in the tank. And it's so crazy because one time, like it was a Sunday, this guy in the gym, he invited me to run with him. So the first week we ran like 4 or 5 miles. I was burnt out. Like I was tired. But then that next week I pushed myself and I did it without getting tired. And I implemented not drinking water, working out. Like I wouldn't lean to water because it becomes a habit. So it built up my endurance, my stamina. And it's just with time, you know, you got to put in the work. Progress over perfection.
Can you share a time when acting with a sense of urgency like helped you seize like a major opportunity?
Acting with a sense of urgency helped me seize a major opportunity with everything that we're doing right now. I remember like I got into business with Carlos November 2022, and I didn't go all in till August 2023. And then when I was all in, I was just, what could I do to move it forward? And every task that was presented to me, I gave him all. Like the first time I read a book, bro, I stayed in the office for like 2 hours just reading the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I would never forget that day. He left for like an hour and he said, yo, just leave and wrap everything up when you're done. He gave the trust. I don't abuse it, you know, from my perspective. But he had me reading the book and I was just all in because, bro, when I picked up that book in 2023, I didn't pick up a book since middle school. But this time I was working hard on myself. I was trained to be working hard, making a living, working with my parents. But if you go down that path, you're going to get the same results. So now I have this individual that he's trying to help me. So what do I have to do? I got to shut up and listen. He knows something that I don't. So if he tells me do this or don't do that, just got to listen because how many people we have like that? For me, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I got to do the best I can and just make it happen.
You mentioned being all in. So what made you like, why didn't you quit your job like as soon as like he came into your life? What had you like?
My mindset.
Yeah. Okay.
Scarcity. I recently stopped smoking. Like when I got into business with him, I had like 2-3 months stopped smoking. I came from DR. I went to DR August 2022. That's when I quit smoking. I got high before the flight. And when I got there, I was like, I'm not smoking no more. Then when I came back, the opportunity just presented. Like I used to go to the gym on the weekends. Because on the weekdays, I was slaving. I was going to work from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. I wouldn't even come home. I would stay in a hotel because I wasn't going to take that hour drive from New York over here. So it was just like my scarcity. I was like, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to live? How am I going to get by? I didn't have security. I didn't want to take that risk. When I dove in the risk, I fell in love with it. Because now it's a lifestyle.
So when you took that risk, you wish you would have took it sooner?
Of course. For example, do you know how to swim?
Yeah, of course. I'm a lifeguard and swim instructor.
Okay, so now let's say a person that doesn't know how to swim. If they want to learn how to swim, what's the best thing to do? Take that risk and just throw yourself in the pool and just figure a way out. So they may drown. It's either they gonna fold under pressure or they gonna survive. If you say they're gonna drown, they're gonna drown. But if you say you could do it, you could do it.
Never thought of it like that. But yeah, I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I feel like
'cause even if they survive, that still doesn't mean they know how to swim. It doesn't mean they survive for that day.
I guess, but they're gonna learn. They have a higher chance of learning like that, just throwing themselves in the pool.
Yeah, that's what Carlos said. Like he just throws stuff in situations. Like some people like they preparation, everything, and some people learn from just throwing themselves in. Like we didn't go to business school or anything,
Nah.
but we just throwing ourselves in. So we learn it as we go. I see a lot of people when they talk about business, like in sales, like they talk about like door-to-door service.
Mhm.
They say that's like a great experience, like to learn like sales and everything.
It is, but that's working hard. Carlos, he says that, for example, Emily and Vanessa and me, since we started the journey early, we have more knowledge than other people. And I believe it's so. They just have the experience. But I feel when it comes to the knowledge and the mindset, we're already there. We got coached by this guy.
Yeah,
I
taking the
believe.
elevator, not the stairs.
Exactly.
So how do you instill a sense of urgency in others, whether it's your team or business partners?
When it comes to business partner, how I install sense of urgency to others, simple, just me leading by example. Because the minute I lead by example, it's either they're gonna keep up or it's either you're gonna shape up or shape out. It's like on the court. Some people, if you want to play with the Sharks, are you gonna handle the pressure or not? They're gonna get left behind or they're gonna keep up. So it's just leading by example, because when you do it for yourself, then you're gonna track the quality. And the quantity, the people that are not, I don't want to say not of value, but they're not there yet in that moment, they just simply not going to keep up. One day they're going to reflect on that situation. But till then, just in the moment being, the people that acknowledge what you're doing, they're going to see it. Real recognize real.
I'm glad you touched on quantity because another question that's popped into my head. We talk about 80-20 rule. We talk about the rule of 100. We talk about a lot of numbers. In your opinion, what do you value more? Do you value quality more or quantity more? Like we do like a lot of episodes, and we also can break those episodes into like clips and everything. So, what do you value more, or let's go ahead and hand in hand for you?
I feel like me is all perspective. Everything depends the situation. Because like I always said, everything in life is contradictory. You could attack everything with a counter, except the Bible. And the Bible, if we speaking about the Bible, we could counteract. But you talk about Jesus, you can't. I don't know if that makes sense. Like if we preach in the word, we could counter it. But somebody else, like Jesus, not somebody else, Jesus, you can't go against him. If you could do it on your own will, but I won't. I'm just saying me. But everything is counterintuitive. For example, what do I prefer? One quality friend or 100 quantity? People that are not quality. I prefer that one quality friend. Now, if you ask me, what do I prefer? 1% of 100 businesses or 1% of 100 businesses or 100% of one business? I'm choosing the quantity.
Yeah, like would you want a whole grape to yourself or like a piece of watermelon?
That's what I'm saying. It all depends on the situation.
My next question to you is, what advice do you have for someone struggling to take action despite knowing what they need to do?
Simple. Like how I said, do it now. Do it now. Just look at yourself in the mirror and see why you have to do. My life changed when I looked at myself in the mirror, bro. I always been hard on myself. Like I literally put myself through pain situations that I make myself cry. Not cry like a sign of weakness, but like just put myself through so much pain. But you also got to have that positive. Remind yourself that you're worth of doing whatever it is that you want to do. Just do it. Like most people think about going to the gym so much. Like they want the workout perfect, or they might care about what others think. Just go to the gym. The hardest part is getting in the gym. Once you get in the gym, everything else comes. So just do it. Just do it. Nike.
I've seen a lot of people, Nike. I've seen a lot of people do that. Like they want like the perfect workout plan, and then it's just stopping them from just doing it. Like they try to do all these research and everything, but you tell them just like go to the gym, like figure it out.
Just do it. Just do it. That's what I would say. Just do it. Whatever you want to do, just do it. Just start. It's either one day or day one. Pick your poison.
So you mentioned about putting yourself through pain, but also having that positivity. How do you find that balance? Where do you see that balance at?
Where you see that balance at is you got to recognize that if you stay in the negative, what you sow is what you reap. So if you reap positivity, you won't get positive. But if you reap negativity, that's what you're going to attract. So for example, if something came and something ticked you off, you got annoyed and you're in a bad mood now, you can't go and just be angry at the world and want to fight everybody. It's going to be that one person that you test the wrong person. and they could clap back at you.
Yeah.
But if you maintain yourself positive, that's what you're going to attract. What you sow is what you reap. If you think in negative terms, you're going to get negative. You think in positive terms, you're going to attract positive. The stranger's secret.
Putting yourself through pain. Where do you like find like to not like overwhelm yourself?
To not overwhelm myself is,
Or not to be too like, I'm pretty sure you're hard on yourself, but how do you like find a balance and like not be too hard? Where do you highlight that stop sign?
I feel as if everybody's different, you know, like you got to know yourself and just like analyze yourself. Like, for example, I told a brother of mine, like, when you going through something, just talk to yourself. For example, pick up a camera and just talk, record yourself talking and then analyze. And you're going to see, damn, I was negative. And then you can see, I'm not like that. So now the positive comes because you're giving constructive criticism to yourself. So just getting to know yourself because everybody's different.
Yeah, I agree with that because I could be hard on myself, and like the other people around me, they think I'm being like too hard. But because a lot of times, like when I know I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I just get like mad at myself, like because I know I could do better. So like I constantly like I could do better, and I try to like even like doing my calendar, man, like just trying to get everything done on my calendar, and then if I miss it, like I just be like hard on myself, and then I got like a lot of things. Well, it's perspective because for me, all the stuff on my calendar might not be a lot of things to you, but for people who's not doing what I'm doing and not even like invested in their calendar, it seems like a lot to them. And then it could seem like I'm busy, but I don't want to be busy. I want to be productive. And then it could seem like it's overwhelming, like I'm being overwhelmed. Like my energy is probably like draining a little bit. So that's why it's like when you say about different people, like it's all perspective.
Exactly. And just learn from your mistakes too. Like say, I won't do that again. Learn off your mistakes. Like I said, criticize yourself in a positive way to build yourself, not destroy yourself. Because people, I believe in self-destruction. We destruct ourselves with the mind.
How do you stay urgent with your goals without constantly feeling like you're rushing through life?
How do I stay urgent
with your goals
without feel like I'm rushing through life? That's crazy because I had a scenario the other day. Like I was just blacking, bro, and it was a minute that I like me desahogué. I see it. I was just speaking, like, yo, that conversation was crazy. But just like I said, that's what you talk about discouragement. Talk about how do you stay with a sense of urgency when things are not going your way or it's not happening when you want it. Just continue to do everything that you can do. Like I said, it's a minor setback for a major comeback. If you're not there yet, keep going because you don't know when that day is going to happen. Stay urgent with everything. Like I said, focus on what we could control. It's about the power of leverage. If you know that what you sow is what you reap, just keep sowing and believe. You got to believe. It's ask, believe, and receive. But you got to ask and then believe, but also put in the work. The CMR Podcast Network, the law of doing instead of the law of attraction. So just keep sowing, bro. Just do it. Tell yourself that 100 times. It'll change your life. I mean, for real.
That should be named episode, sense of urgency, and then next to it,
just do it.
Because that's really all it is.
That should be this one. We're going to edit it. Just do it. Just do it.
How does urgency fit into the process of building momentum into a business or personal project?
Ooh, business or personal project. Let's say everything we're doing with social media, right? Let's use CMR Podcast Network, for example. He records every day, right? So we like 148 episodes. To use him as an example. We record every day. We don't know which episode could be that breakthrough. But that's momentum. Because as soon as we start building a crowd or people start following that way, we don't want followers. We want leaders creating leaders. But as soon as people start recognizing what we're doing and the momentum goes up, then that's it. Once you got momentum, then you got to keep on the consistency. The consistency there, we already getting. Now it's about getting the momentum as in the viewers. Being in that, not the spotlight, but get recognition in a way. Although we don't need it, but the world gonna recognize. It's like basketball. You got to get rhythm, but in order to get the rhythm, you got to put up shots. Got to get the reps in. And I feel like now you have more momentum when it comes to creating content because you've been doing it consistently. So now when you get up here, it's natural as into a person that just walks in for the first time, you might have some limiting beliefs.
Yeah, because doing podcasting, like when talking in front of the camera, I would have never thought I'd be doing this. Like I always had like a a minor dream of being like a preacher, but not like a preacher to a church, but just preaching to like youth people, the youth. So being like a youth pastor, and I also like did a sermon in front of a church before, and I feel like that's also what inspired. But when I first started doing this podcasting, like it was like some nerves and everything, and I was constantly like just thinking about like, oh, what I would say or anything, or even getting stuck. I remember the first podcast I did with you that it's not out. Like I was also like, oh man, like what if I get stuck and everything? Like so that was constantly in my head, limited beliefs. But now, like it just flows, because I've been doing it so much, and I keep going, putting in repetition. So, yeah, sense of urgency. Like, I didn't. If I kept thinking about what I was going to say, I wouldn't be here saying what I was going to say. Because you could think about one thing about even like doing a podcast or public speaking as well. You could think about what you're going to say all day, but when you get in front of like the camera or something like that, or
It'll
you
be
start
different.
sweating, or you start remembering, you start losing like what you want to say, and then I think it's better just to flow. So anybody who's like struggling with this communication, like just put yourself out there. Like my communication grew from doing this, speaking in front of the camera. Now I come from the camera and I can go speak to other people. Like recently at my dad's party, his 50th, like they wasn't really communicating. So my mom wanted to do something because like they want everybody. Obviously, everybody's there for my dad, but they don't really know each other. So everybody was like wasn't communicating, and they wanted people to like get along. So then we did something to. My sister had an idea to what was it called? Like an icebreaker. I also said let's do an icebreaker. My sister said let's go around the table, whatever. So it's crazy how everybody was leaning on me. Like it's crazy. Everybody leaning on me to like start it off. My mom was like, I'm like, oh, start it off, start it off, start it off. But like before this podcast, that's how I know like this is like helping me grow, like as a person, like, in general. Because I probably would have been the one like, oh man, I don't want to start nothing off. But yeah, I stood up. I was the only one that stood up. I started it off, and then it was like actually like a beautiful moment. Everybody went around, said something positive. I was basically like the host of the party, and I couldn't even do that if I wasn't like in this organization, because I know it's helping me build as a person, and I know I'm not even near my peak yet.
We're still growing every day, and that's just, you moved with a sense of urgency, because you would have been still just saying, "Oh, nah," you would have been contemplating. But as soon as you just did it, it built momentum for everybody, and everybody hopped on the wave.
Yeah.
It was a domino effect.
So can you share a time like just being in an organization, like how it changed you, or have you noticed like when you notice that like this organization has changed you as a whole, to being around Carlos, being around the whole team?
When it comes to moving a sense of urgency, I feel like my mindset, bro. Like I didn't like. I'm only 22. I can remember when I was 19, when I was 18, just doing the foolishness. Like whoever would have thought I would have been here. That's why I relate to MTM Isaiah so much with his music. But it's just like everything's a mindset, and the way my mind has grown at my age is I'm grateful and blessed every day. So and that's another thing too. Like we get so caught up in all the materialistic things or the rewards. Like you gotta appreciate and focus on what you have now. An attitude of gratitude. That's where I caught myself at. Like when I was saying that I was so angry because of whatever happened. It was like, yo, bro. When I sit back, it's like I'm blessed to be where I'm at. I'm blessed to move how I move, to speak how I speak, to have the knowledge that I have, to have these people around me. Because my circle back then is totally different from the circle I have now. That's why
Only quality people.
elevation requires separation. But when it comes with a sense of urgency, bro, I feel like my mind where it's at now is just propelling me for a better future. Because I'm 22. Who knows when I'm gonna be here at 25 if I keep moving with a sense of urgency? Just doing it now. Look, minor setback for a major comeback. We were supposed to record at 4:45, but we still here now. We couldn't win, but as soon as the sense of urgency, why not? Why not just act on the moment? Opportunities are like sunrises. If you wait too long, you'll miss them. And there's so many things I could say, but just seize the moment. Make the best out of everything you have now. When you have like that saying stuck with me so much, prayer is you talking to God. Intuition is God talking to you. That's another thing that I've learned with my time, to trust my instincts, to trust my intuition, and move with a sense of urgency. Call to action for the people out there. I know probably an idea came to you, whether you want to start a podcast, whether you want to do a business, hit up Mars, contact me. Let's make it happen. Let's turn that one day into day one. But you got to move with a sense of urgency. Dreams don't work unless you work.
Yeah, speaking of sense of urgency, like you said, like things didn't totally did not go as planned today, but we're still here, and I feel like we're making an impact to the world just because we're showing up. That's why it's really important when it comes to sense of urgency to show up every day.
Just
Like
show up. That's another
this
thing.
even with the little things like the gym that could build your sense of urgency right there. Just showing up at the gym. Stop thinking about what you're gonna do. Stop thinking about what's gonna happen or whatever. Just show up at the gym, man. We play basketball consistently. We go to the gym consistently. Just build that sense of urgency. Another question that I have for you is when it comes to sense of urgency, was it ever a time you moved with sense of urgency and then you regretted it?
I regretted it. That's a good question. I mean, like in the book of Ecclesiastes, I can't tell you a specific moment. It didn't come to my head. But in the book of Ecclesiastes, like there's a time for everything. And it comes with rushing things or forcing things. Like sometimes we force things, we act on it so fast that maybe I should have that's when it comes to listening to my intuition. Maybe I don't listen to what I'm saying, but I do something else just because that instant gratification. So when it comes to that question, is choosing the instant gratification versus the delayed gratification. That's a scenario that I feel like everybody could relate to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because the instant that thing that we know if we do it now, we're gonna get that quick. Versus that pain of discipline where if we keep on acting on that right path, it's gonna come later on. So it's just that. Now I'm pretty sure I have a lot of situations with that where I choose instant gratification versus delayed.
Yeah, I could definitely relate to that. I also can relate to a time since the urgency. I've been playing basketball for a while, and due to that, I don't know, man. Like when it comes to working out, I never like to work on my legs, man. I always like upper body stuff. Never worked on my legs. Also, like my abs too. I never like working, but it's mainly like the legs. I never like working on. So now it's taking a toll on me now because now you see I have like knee injuries, and then it's so annoying because one day I can feel like great. Now I'm happy, smiling. The next minute, like my knees start hurting and everything. Now I gotta sit down. But when it comes to sense of urgency, even though my knee was hurting, I continued to play basketball. And then like one time I went to LA Fitness, and then it was a time I couldn't even walk, bro. I couldn't finish the game. I mean, I was still playing. I was still playing, like just limping. I couldn't finish the game, and then it delayed my time to get healthy. So that's a time that I can say I regret, but I don't know if it's really a regret because it also could be a learning lesson. But then the reason why I say I regret it because now I couldn't be active, you know. And then now that I had that, I felt that pain. I'm really not. I was being like comfortable now, like not like barely playing because I know I should be working on my legs, but then I feel like discomfort every time I have like the leg day and everything. So I know like right now I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but so I could say like that pain like probably not scared me away, but it just made me like aware. But now I know I moved with a sense of urgency with that as well. Even though I moved with a sense of urgency before and regretted it, I'm gonna move with a sense of urgency again. I know I'm not gonna regret it this time. It's gonna be a reward because now I'm gonna be just building my legs up and then like doing like a program and then I'm gonna get right. But is there anything last words you want to say about sense of urgency?
I mean, everything that you just said, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. It's either one day or day one. I believe they have a dream, but they want that instant gratification, which is that 9 to 5, that security. But the pain of discipline, the unknown, who knows? Like, guys, back then in the world, there was no employees, it was just entrepreneurs. I had a cow, you had a horse, we'll exchange. So why now we're taught programmed for a 9 to 5. We're taught everything instant. But delayed is really where it's at. But you got to work on it daily. And I'll just say the pain of discipline. I always tell myself, you know what you have to do. Just do it. Focus on what you could control, focus on what you could do, and just do it. I don't know if you guys could relate to me or relate to any stories that Mars has, but I believe you have a purpose. I believe you could conquer the world, and we want to go far. That's why we're here together and everybody in the organization, man. I'm tired of going fast. I've been going fast all my life, and that's where the sense of urgency. When I do things, I want to do it my way. And every time I did things my way and I wanted to go the highway, it will backfire because I will forget about everybody else and say, I'm gonna do it alone. Every time I did it alone, what I reaped, it wasn't what I wanted to. For example, I'll give you a story time. But I feel like that was more ego. Like I broke my right arm like in 1st or 2nd grade because like a peso, bro, a peso is less than a penny. A peso is less than a penny, bro, in DR. And then it fell like in the chalks, like where you build the houses, and I went to get it. But just, man, y'all know what y'all got to do. Just do it. That story, it ain't worth it for this podcast. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret, which one you want to choose? You want that delayed gratification, which is the best gratification from my perspective, or you want that instant? Go after your dreams. You could do it. Think big, and then think bigger, and don't listen to people that tell you it can't be done.
To touch on what he said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You have to move with a sense of urgency. But not only just move with a sense of urgency, also you have to put God into that. You don't want to lean on your own understanding. As to also touch on what we said, you don't want to lean on your own understanding. So, like you said, just do it, man. Move with a sense of urgency. Stop constantly just thinking. Just do. That's basically all I have to say. Just do it, man. So I thank God. Thank you for joining me in this podcast.
Thank you.
And I think you guys, I know you guys are going to move with a sense of urgency now. Alert, move with a sense of urgency. Thank you.
Thank you. That was good, bro.